We talked about having a librarian embedded in a course in order to provide additional support to students for their research assignments.
And I was talking about my experience with having John come in and work in my classroom. What I did is I teach two different courses where I use a librarian, John, embedded in my classroom. One is the Introductory Environmental Health and Safety class, and the other one is Environmental Audits. And in both of those classrooms, what I do is I take the research and writing component and I break them down into what I call research modules. And so the students work in groups through a series of different research modules. And the first one, for example, always being a quick literature review where they go through different types of things. And I bring John in to come in and help with each component of those. So I'm working more on the content of the materials and he's working more on the mechanics on how to get it done.
I think students will have a better sense of what a librarian can help with, and they can work on their research projects in a more fulfilling and engaged way, because I think right now students aren't really aware that when they work on research projects, how critical the library is to their work and the library resources. I think that sometimes they forget and think that they can Google as opposed to just going to talk to a librarian. I think they're intimidated, and if a librarian is in the classroom, then I think a sense of trust is established.
I agree completely, and I think that it helps students in two distinct ways for me, they both had to do with the particular course that we were teaching. So the course was on modernist literature and visual culture, and so I have some expertise in both of these areas, but especially in the area of searching for images, I have just sort of been self-taught and have a very inefficient sort of way of doing this. And so Iris brought a lot of skills to bear on that particular topic, helping students do not, sort of modern languages association database searches, the kinds of things that they're accustomed to doing as English majors or as MA students, but more specialized kinds of searches, finding fine art objects, especially finding sort of pop cultural objects or sort of advertisements or kind of weird ephemera from the past that pertain to visual culture. So I think having a librarian who had some sort of special skills in the area of the course was enormously beneficial.
Well, they can start contacting us, or we can certainly reach out to faculty and let them know that we are interested and would like to support them in the classroom. And it doesn't have to be a fully embedded model, as I was in Professor Allred's class, going every week. It can just be one or two classes at the beginning and maybe a class at the end. So just working with faculty to let them know how we can assist them and sit in on classes and just work closer with them to assist their students.
Yes, when I decided I wanted to get a librarian involved, I started off by asking the librarians to look at my syllabi and to think about different opportunities where having them in my classroom would be particularly helpful. So in this case, I've asked John has been doing a lot of work with teaching students different database surveys in terms of helping with literature review and how to manipulate and do databases that are useful in public health. But I've had other librarians come in and teach other types of techniques like how to use Write and Cite, everything from how do you install it on your computer or how to use it in your various classrooms. So starting off with the syllabus and asking where can you help me is really a good starting point, and then it becomes very evolutionary. And the students help us. The students are very good about saying this is where you're not working very well and what you need in terms of doing that. And so a lot of times it is evolutionary and we wind up adapting lessons not just within the course but from semester to semester.